Hey everyone, and welcome to WrestleCast episode 134. This is Lego, and I've got with me Hove and Wilson this week.
You already ruined the podcast.
Well, you put me on edge, Hove. You said 3, 2, 1.
We're joined by our special guest, Bran, from the classic movie The Goonies.
Not from Game of Thrones.
Also, do you know who else he played?
Wilson looks like someone from Street Fighter right now, I feel like.
Do you know?
I'm going for, this is my work attire for our live
You
viewers.
look like a selectable character.
Lego,
I try
do you know
I try to
who
be selectable.
played Bran in The Goonies?
No, I don't know.
Josh Brolin.
Oh yeah, that does seem familiar.
You know what else?
And that's your
random
actor fact. Of
Josh
the
Brolin
podcast.
is huge. He's just Thanos.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough.
And Cable in the
yeah.
Deadpool movie.
Yeah, true. Well, this week, y'all, we got a massive TWAB that has some drama around it that Hove has committed himself to not speaking of.
No,
He
told me that he was gonna get straight to the heart of it, dive deep, surgically into this topic this evening with precision.
If you want me to go off and alienate most of our small amount of listeners, I will.
Well, see, that's the thing. When you alienate people, Hove, you're actually alienating them from yourself, not from the podcast. Like, I could have a different viewpoint than you, and so that gives me more sway with the audience in the future.
No, it's going to be bad. They're not going to want to listen to anybody on here ever.
Okay, well, this week for me, before we get to all the TWAB stuff, I've been playing a lot of Iron Banner since it released on Tuesday because as they announced last week in the TWAB, there are random rolls on the Wise and Rebuke, so I am going after a crispy new fusion rifle, and I got pretty close. I got maybe 3 drops so far, which is already way better than my air intel drops with the gunsmith. Like, if you ask me in a week how many air intels it's my odds are I'd get 1 every 2 months or something like that from the gunsmith, maybe 1 every month now that the changes happened. And since they brought random rolls with the Wise and Rebuke this week, I've already got 2 or 3 of them in in a few days. That's pretty good.
Good ratio.
So one of mine dropped with liquid coils, which is my favorite battery option on the Fusion. So the highest damage you can get. And then I got rangefinder on it. And then I got Hove's Aletha perk that you love so much. What's the one where it stows and reloads your weapon? Auto-loading holster?
Applesauce.
I could care less about auto. Where did you come up with that?
Because that's the one gun that has it on it for sure is the Aletha.
I didn't even know it had it. I don't care. Are you sure?
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure. That's what people said anyway. I don't know. I could be wrong. I thought the year 1 version did. But anyway, it actually works great for me. I didn't 2 months ago or
I just
something?
like your hair. I just say thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Hove.
And your V-neck.
So the
deep V.
I'm sorry. No, it is. I know.
It is a sexy deep V.
Do you guys want to hear about
audio
a deep V?
listeners?
No, I
Jesus,
don't.
Hove.
Not yet, Hove. Let me get
different
through.
podcast.
Let me at least explain why this. Because normally I'd go for under pressure on the fusion rifle, but because this one has auto-loading holster, it's perfect for my double special loadout where I'm constantly having to reload. And so whenever I slide over an ammo brick, I just pick up my sniper, reload the sniper rifle, and the fusion rifle reloads automatically by the time I switch back to it. So it's pretty fun using it with that setup in particular. So I actually got a decent fusion rifle already. I'm still going for something better than an air intel, but we'll see what happens.
Was that the coolest thing you did this weekend, Lego?
No, it wasn't. It was my wife's 30th birthday, so we hung out at a fancy hotel this weekend. Went to a zoo, a snake farm zoo, actually. They had actual lions and stuff, though. It's more than just a snake farm now. It was awesome.
Lego was balling out. He sent me a picture. He was balling out.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we just chilled there. The hotel we went to had a rooftop pool, over Austin.
Oh,
and
snap.
we just like hung out all day on Sunday, just sitting out, ordering drinks by the pool.
Sounds cool.
It was awesome.
How old did you say because you told me the other day she was born in the silent film era, right?
She was no.
Oh.
She turned 30.
You guys didn't like celebrate by like going like a haunted hayride or something?
You know,
no, man, they did the hokey pokey all night, literally, like the dance.
Okay, I was like, what?
You're onto something though, Wilson, because we are a fan of scary stuff, and so I did look up ghost tours in Austin, like as a potential like.
You all about that like clear and present danger of the spook house?
You used that incorrectly.
I don't care, Hove.
It's a movie.
Way to fuck it up.
It's a movie.
Oh.
Harrison Ford.
You guys didn't go see Clear and Present Danger?
That was a good comeback, I guess.
That was a good save.
Lego, will you take me to a ghost tour for my birthday?
Yeah, if you come down.
Only if you buy me applesauce after.
How about I feed you applesauce after?
I'm down.
Wow.
Yes. Just not cinnamon applesauce, because that shit fucking sucks. Have you ever had that?
Yeah? Who hasn't had cinnamon applesauce?
Okay,
I don't really care for it.
Viewers, let us know, regular or cinnamon applesauce, and there is a correct fucking answer.
Yeah,
here.
I put cinnamon in my applesauce if it doesn't already have it in it.
For real?
Yeah.
You're that about it.
You've never heard like cinnamon apple everything, apple cinnamon everything?
Yeah, but it's like, okay, you know what? I'll try it with actual cinnamon and putting my amount in, but the pre-made shit, no.
That's fair.
Get it the fuck out.
Chill.
The rate. Okay, you're right.
Hey, here's something that bothers me. I just want to make sure I'm not getting really, really old quickly.
Okay.
Have you heard that commercial on the radio lately about Discover loans, school loans through Discover?
Actually, yes.
Okay.
That's weird.
And
because we do listen to the radio at work.
Yeah, me too. So at the end, it's the dad talking about how he's getting ready for college, and his son goes, "I'm the one going to college, Dad." And he goes, "I need to pay for your loans." And he's like, "Just get a loan through Discover, blah, blah, blah." And at the end, he goes, "So I can just chill?" And he goes, "Do kids still say that these days?" And he goes, "Dad, no one says that." I'm pretty sure that's like pretty common still, right? Like, am I that old?
How old was the kid?
He was going to college.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess you established that. He needs to get out more, clearly.
Yeah,
like maybe college isn't for him right
now. Like, what are you doing? I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna chill tonight. Like, am I that old, or is that? I feel like that's still a pretty normal thing to say.
Normal.
Yeah.
Netflix and chill, or like, yo, what do you think about so and so? Oh, he's pretty chill.
Is it that bad? Chill, yeah. Like, are the people at Discover that out of touch that they can't even get an out of touch joke right? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think you're onto something there. I think that is probably the way to go.
Another thing that happened to me.
Yeah.
I have many quick stories.
No, I'm all for it.
I went to Wendys.
How your week was, Ho.
Did I tell you about Wendys?
Well, no, I was worried from the stories that you did have, though. Like, I thought that you might have, like, you were gonna bring up the whole genital wart situation, but I can't.
That's one of the words I gave Lego, and he used it back on me. God damn it!
That was fucking savage, dude.
Wow.
Lego, who is this guy? What have we done to him?
Lego, like, if I tell people that you DDoS people, they're like, haha, Lego would never DDoS people. If you tell someone I have genital warts, they're gonna be like, oh shit, Ho finally got fucked up. Like, but like,
one too many Wednesday nights. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh,
I was wondering if I did that, if you would be mad or just impressed. So
I mean,
I think I got
a little of both.
A little bit of both.
But quickly, I went to Wendys at a normal hour. It was like 9:30. And there were two cars in front of me, and I pull up to the window, and the first thing she says is, "Before you order, I just have to tell you that the car in front of you has a 14-minute wait on their order, and we're not allowed to pull them up to give them their order. So are you okay with waiting 14 minutes to order your food?" And I was like, "No," and I left.
Did they? Okay. Oh, there's so much more information I would have got from them that it probably would have taken 14
minutes.
But
it wouldn't have mattered. Like, it's not like they were going to be like, oh,
yes,
okay.
Yes,
but
why can they not pull up? Why can they not get
Do you know why?
Fuck out of their car
because
and go wait inside?
They're either Well, no. I guess it was a little bit after 10 because inside was closed, but it was still like early.
Okay,
it was like,
that answers that question.
But like, you know how any other place either has spaces that has spaces to pull over, or you just pull up. I've never seen anyone not do that. They were like, oh, we're not allowed to do that anymore. And I was like, okay, A, either Wendy's has the worst policy in history, which I don't believe, or B, you're a lazy liar who doesn't want to wait on anybody else. Because who's going to say, oh, yeah, let me wait 14 minutes for my junior bacon cheeseburger?
Why the fuck didn't you call management the next day and be like, yo, what is your policy on pull-aheads?
I tweeted Wendy's, and I'm very disappointed because guess what they said? They completely ignored me. But no, nothing at a Wendy's takes 14 minutes to make anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what are they making, a Thanksgiving fucking turkey?
Yeah.
That's a very weird thing.
Yeah, so I'm unhappy. Happen. So Wendy's, if you're listening.
Maybe it was a safety inspector ordering something? I don't know.
They were lying.
That was some straight up bullshit is what that was. They were on some bullshit.
And then lastly, I had to go to Harrisburg this week for meetings. So there were 4 of us that go up, like our department. No, I actually had a meeting, Lego. Hate you. And so then we met up with a couple guys that we deal with at work up there on like the shut up.
Sorry.
One that works on the server team and the POS team and all these like IT guys that we deal with on the phone. And we went out to dinner at this really good Italian BYOB, which was bomb. And so we had a couple beers beforehand, and then I drank a bottle of wine, and then we had a couple beers afterwards. And then I sent you a DM later.
No. That's what it was.
Yeah. Wilson, you're
that
muted.
food was really good. Hove just sent us a DM about it.
Yeah.
How good the food was.
I actually sent Lego a link to the Lonely Island song, I Just Had Sex. And he laughed really hard and said, I've never seen that before. And I was like, well, now you have.
Somehow. I don't know how. Like, I've seen all the other ones, just not that one. That was weird.
Wilson, you're still muted?
I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, my bad. I was muted. I said that it's a good one.
Yeah.
Good song. It's a good one. Yeah. Not like cinnamon applesauce. That shit is
and then I came home yesterday and I laid down on my couch at like 7:10, messaged like 2 or 3 people like, hey, do you want to play games in a little bit? And then I woke up at 8 a.m.
Wow.
Damn. Yo, y'all ever come home and like take a nap and like wake up at like 7 or 8 and think it's the next morning? You guys ever done that?
Yeah, like all the time.
Yeah.
Did you ever like sit down and take a nap and wake up and go, oh shit, the podcast started?
I was close one day. I was close.
I was all sweaty.
I do have one question for your week. Like,
no, I don't. I don't have genital warts.
Okay, well that's.
Nor have I ever. No, I want to clarify.
That is yet to be determined.
No,
right,
it has
continue,
not.
Like,
I will determine it right now if you would like.
We'll see what the jury says.
No. So, Hove, did you get a chance to jump into 0 Hour yet?
What's that? Is that a new game?
That's the new mission that gets the new
it's great.
gun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can tell you put some time into it.
I really liked it.
What was your favorite part? And don't say Trevor. Go. Time's up.
The where you were fighting with and you had the guns. And
totally.
And then the thing.
It's a very unique encounter.
Yeah, it's really cool. I was like really enthralled, like the space, and then like the ball.
This is pretty good.
Yeah, like then I shot all the things.
What race were you fighting?
What?
What enemies?
I don't see race. I was in the tower, and I was fighting Fallen.
Wow, you got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I did it. The dark 30.
It's almost as if he had like a 25 or like 33% chance. That's crazy. No, actually, I forgot about Scorn.
So what? There's 6 technically, right?
Yeah. Technically? Are you still in the genital warts thing? What the fuck? Testically, there's more. Sorry, dude. We're really fucking laying it on thick with Hove this week. That's already.
Fine.
Apologize.
No, I like it.
I mean, testically, he likes it. I mean,
I'm into the abuse. I'm into the abuse.
Wilson, you had something really awesome happen this week.
Wait, the most important thing ever just happened.
Okay.
I don't know if this is real life, But Matt Grundy just said in chat that Robert Pattinson is the new Batman.
And that he doesn't belong in this world anymore.
Wait, are we serious right now? Is it?
Oh, man.
Real?
I'm looking.
I feel like, Hope, you should just, your antenna should just know these things.
That's true.
Can confirm.
32 minutes ago, he's going to play.
Do you ever wish we were a pop culture podcast rather than a Destiny podcast?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not rather than, but like.
But like, you could do that.
Yeah. Why? Do you want to do that? You want to start one?
He would kill it.
Do you want to start one?
If I could keep up with it, but I know that I can't.
Can we? If we find somebody to edit for us.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that would be fun.
Because that would allow me to talk a lot more nonsense.
Maybe not 100%. Like 85% sure. Like that would be that I could do that.
Wilson.
You'd have to probably count me out for the simple sense that not that I don't want to do it, that I would always be like, what was that guy in that one movie?
Yeah,
and you would be able to show his huge prowess when it comes to like the knowledge of actors and actresses.
But we
across the millennia.
But we would actually we need that guy.
I don't know if I want my Drax to show, you know?
Then you shouldn't have worn a V that deep.
Bro, the deep V.
Okay, but for real, Wilson, you had a huge accomplishment this week.
I had lots of huge accomplishments. First one, not forgotten, obtained. Love it. Just before the nerf. Not even mad about it. Not even mad about it. 2, mountaintop. Holy shit, that took me all of Saturday and Sunday to accomplish. Like, and when I mean all of Saturday and Sunday, I mean like, yes, I got like 8 hours of sleep, but it was like straight 14-year-old gamer, like soda, cereal, junk food all fucking day, playing
Mountain Dew,
Coca-Cola, American Classic Bud. Yeah.
Have you had orange vanilla Coke?
Do what?
Have you had orange vanilla Coke?
No, that's almost as bad as cinnamon applesauce.
Okay, do you like vanilla Coke?
No.
Why?
Definitely worse
vanilla
than
Coke is like
I would rather drink cinnamon applesauce out
vanilla
of
Coke is one of my favorite things.
Fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here with your stupid fucking sleeve around your head. Take that sleeve off your head and put it back on your shirt so you don't look
it's
like
not
such
a sleeve,
tool
it's a
bag.
Fucking headband. Oh my god. Anyway,
he's taking out all his Nerf anger on Wilson.
And it's true.
You look like a fuck bag.
He's
Jeez. What the heck?
My one coworker kept calling everyone fuck bags this week while we were out of town.
This is the Hove I like to see, people. Raw, unfiltered. I love it. Anyway, mountaintop. Holy shit. Grindy. Fun, though. I appreciate what the quest does. I am now much, much better with grenade launchers than I ever was before.
Yeah.
However, there is a whole new learning curve when you get mountaintop.
Because it's straight.
It's amazing in PvE, too. Holy shit.
Yes.
It is really good. But it was quickly overshadowed. Ladies and gentlemen, it happened.
Oh yeah.
Supremacy
Wilson
dropped.
lost his virginity.
Yes. Twice.
To
Supremacy. To Hove. Which means I should probably get checked out now. But so Supremacy, rapid hit, snapshot, fluted barrel, and range masterwork. I love it. Can't wait to take it into the Crucible and shit on more people with it. I got to do a little bit of pew pew with it, then I got it, and I love it. Not forgotten with that in quick play. Yeah, I'm that guy.
You were the one who said you like your Hove raw. All right.
I keep forgetting that Supremacy is in the kinetic slot, so it goes with Not Forgotten. That's so good.
It does. It's juicy, my dude. I love it.
What does yours have on it again? I cut some of it and missed the other part.
Pretty much everything I think that you had. I had rapid hit, snapshot, fluted barrel, but I had a range masterwork, which I do prefer because that thing is already super snappy.
Yeah.
But I will take the range on
What
it. I love it.
Mod did you put on?
Targeting adjuster, because I don't need no fucking aim assist extra. I do need aim assist.
Wait,
just
I was
not
gonna
that
say,
much.
isn't that what targeting adjuster does?
No, not targeting adjuster. Radar tuner.
A radar tuner.
My bad. My bad.
Listen, do you know what you should put on it? Give it a try.
Put a ring on it.
Should I do that one again?
No. Oh, jeez.
Try it with sprint grip.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I have any of those.
The ADS on it is so fast.
I have one of those, and I'm just saving it for the right weapon, you know?
I have not gotten a single, like, look at me. I have not gotten a single new mod since they've come out, aside from, like, taken armaments and stuff like that. No extra Firefly, no extra Boom Boom, all that stuff. No Sprint Grip, no fucking... nothing. No applesauce.
They're all at Ada, right? Like, if you get mod components, can't you take them to Ada to buy, like, her specialized kind or something? Like,
can you?
Okay, hold on. I'm going to check to make sure I'm saying this right. But I think whenever they came out with the new ones, they were like, okay, if you get so many mod components, then you take that along with something else. I don't remember what it was. And you can take them to Ada and get, like, a randomly rolled new version of a mod. Like one of the new ones.
Shit. All right, well, maybe is that the only way to get them?
I don't know. So
no, I don't think so.
You can buy mod components. Dang it. I can't, no, I must be... Oh, Black Armory mod. Yeah, purchased a Black Armory mod. The prices increase with each purchase, and it cost 1 of the Black Armory schematics and 10 mod components.
Well, shit.
Yeah, so
don't
you just
I
have
look
to
like
have
an
a lot
asshole?
of mod components.
Oh, I do.
Watch that shit, Wilson. I just sent you something.
Who is this cool guy? Nice.
If you already
Juicy
have,
plays.
If you already have
Snapshot,
Snapshot,
is that the Sprint Grip?
Yeah, I put it in chat. Sprint Grip
Ew!
Snapshot.
Hold on, let me see that again.
Yeah.
That's pretty gross.
That's on a Persuader, too. That thing has garbo handling. That's amazing.
Just
well, that's interesting. Make anything good, I guess.
That is it. That's
it won't make genital warts.
That's a hot tweet. I do. I absolutely love cool guy. Love his videos.
Yeah, me too.
So
he
clear.
Did one
like
really interesting recently over the new perfected what do you call it? Outbreak perfected. That had like all its a breakdown basically of what its hidden perks could be. And it was going around the community like crazy because everyone was like, that's why it feels so stable, because its stability is crap. If you look at the actual stats for the gun, it doesn't look good, but then you use it and you're like, why does this thing feel like a laser? And he's like pretty confident it has these hidden perks in it and kind of like tested out which ones it would be and everything. It was pretty cool.
Gross. What's on your mind, Hove?
You don't want to know.
You look like you had something to say.
No, not really.
Fair enough.
Well, now the community knows, or at least the listeners or viewers of the podcast know why Wilson's look like he's dressed up to get sweaty. He's just been in the sweat grind.
I am like legit been in sweat mode, but also because this is my work attire and I do sweat at work. So you're not lying. Dude, it got hot as shit out here today, dude. And I had to close my windows before the podcast because my fucking neighbors had to mow the lawn, contaminate the audio. Who the hell mows the lawn at like 8 o'clock at night?
People who work till 5 or it was really hot.
Yeah, that's the only time you can.
I work till 5 and shit. I get up at like fucking 6 o'clock in the morning and shit.
It's a good
Come
point.
mow my fucking lawn.
Jimmy said in chat, this is the first time I've seen the top of Wilson's head. I've known him for 4 years.
Wow.
Nice hair. Look at that shine. Look at that.
I didn't think about that.
Did you ever see the
Look at
back?
that Vidal.
Did you ever see the back of his head, Jimmy?
Because Tove has.
Oh god, I'm done. I can't.
Yes, you can.
Since Hove's done, we're gonna jump into stuff that he can't talk about. Nothing. Oh wait, I did have something before I got to the TWAB. One last thing. I did the 0 hour schematic for the ship. The like all the crazy code stuff you have to put in that math class and all of them and the raid secrets group solved. And that is some crazy stuff. I think I had Bot and Might Guy from Last Rites with me, and they just jumped in and were like, yeah, we don't know how to do this, but I like had been running it solo trying to do it myself, which is incredibly difficult. So like I think Glad was able to do it and some other people.
Of course.
But it's difficult to run around and read a spreadsheet and put in like the right console configuration. You have to do it 50 times. And so we were in there for so long just reading off numbers and then going to a spreadsheet and putting it in this console. And I was so scared I was going to mess it up at the very end when you're at like 49 inputs and you're on the very last one. You're like, please read this right. But yeah, got my Arc. So this week was Arc. Last week was Void. Got my Arc week 1 done. So just 2 other weeks to do this, and I get a fancy ship. I don't even know what it's gonna look like. But also, I get my catalyst done faster, so that was cool.
That shit better be dope, because I didn't do the Void one. So me, Spiffy, and Marcus are gonna do the we're gonna do the Arc one this week. So we're gonna be a week behind everyone for the ship schematic.
Same. Yeah. Same.
Yeah. Oh, you are too?
Yeah. I only did the Arc one.
Hopefully it's super dope.
Yeah, I hope it's cool. I mean, I trust that whatever ship they have that's kind of hidden like that, because, you know, the last ship we got that was in a mission like this was the Whisper of the Worm ship, you know, and that was really unique and cool. So I'd imagine they'll have something cool for this one too.
Do you know?
I hope it's like the one from the fucking Siva raid in D1. We're at the machine.
Oh,
Go ahead,
that
Hope.
would be.
I just said, do you know what else is really unique and cool?
What?
Lego.
Wow.
Indeed. That deep V is unique. It only that
don't
V
cheapen,
goes that deep.
Don't cheapen the moment, Wilson. I was trying to say something nice. I wanted to bond with Lego, and you come in. You know, that's what makes me mad about you on this podcast. We can never take you seriously. You're always goofing around. You get off topic.
It's true.
Bullshit.
Actually, you're not lying. Actually, why the fuck do you guys have me on this show?
Because you're
I don't even
our
know
favorite.
how to get the new mods, man. Like,
Whatever.
Hey, man, I still haven't done Zero Dark 30, so it's fine.
We're introducing Hove to Trevor tonight. I don't know what
Trevor
y'all have planned.
Trevor is amazing. I put the moves on Trevor, and I'm not talking like in a sexual way. Like, I broke some ankles.
Wow.
Maybe it was a little sexual. No, dude, I'm going in. Lego, you'd be proud of me. This scared, nimble little, I can't do it, you guys are just gonna have to go on without me, is now killing it in the jumping puzzles of that mission.
Believe it, man. The second time we went through it, you like nailed it. You didn't die once and completely like had. So I knew after that you'd be fine.
Dude, I was in.
I'd really like to 1v1 you on the b-ball court, Wilson.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I'm pretty nimble for being 35. I'm just saying, you know.
I'm just saying.
I've got the moves.
I play basketball
now,
I'm an afreet.
Now my shot needs some work, so I'm gonna be going in
what?
hard.
See, no, that's my
that
thing,
layup.
man. I got
like
3 point.
What?
You got my shot.
A freet? Half-freet?
That's
That's how you.
What he's saying?
It's that word you gave me. What the fuck is that?
You have spoiled everything this evening, Hove. All the words.
AFREET. How would you say that?
That's like an afreet.
That's what I said.
I know. I was just wondering what you meant, because in context, you know, it's like a demon.
It's like
and
a fucking like. Actually, it's a djinn-like demon.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what a difference between a djinn and a genie is? This isn't a joke. This is legit. Like, I think like genies spend like that's what they want to ascend to, is like a djinn. Like a djinn's almost like a genie god.
But djinns are like demons. They're like bad.
I mean, most genies aren't really good.
I mean,
like,
how many genies do you know?
Dude, you ever seen Wishmaster, bro?
You ever seen Aladdin, bro?
Yeah, he's kind of fucking spooky.
It's Robin
Especially
Williams.
the new one.
He's kind of spooky. He looks like a fucking ghost, dude.
Yeah. So does Casper.
Yeah.
And he's literally called the Friendly Ghost. That's literally his name.
I can't even like argue my way out of this one. All right, you got it. All right, fine. You win. You're on fire tonight.
Okay. So we talked enough about 0 Hour Iron Banner stuff. We got the TWAB this week, which many people are taking to Twitter. Hove is literally setting down his headphones right now.
Just give me this symbol, this signal when you're done, and I'll be back.
What, you Rocky and Bullwinkle? What are you?
Yeah, come back, Hove.
You're not done talking about it, you liar. Don't lie to me, Lego. You're supposed to be the wholesome one here.
We're going to be literally talking... Hove, come on. We're going to be literally talking about this the rest of the podcast. You got to participate in some fashion.
Do I? Are you my dad?
It's not... Do you really think that we're going to have the opinions of the mass majority that everybody else has right now?
I don't know. Do you, Lego?
Okay. Well,
are you a
we're about to
conformist?
find out. We're about to find out.
I'm for the people. All right.
Yeah.
You guys should. I'm kidding. I'm just.
You might be. We'll see. So some changes are coming. The first one they mentioned is Iron Banner changes are coming in the future, because we're going through Iron Banner right now. So they just mentioned like, hey, it's going to be different next time. They didn't say how. They just said they talk about it later. Second thing, and the really big thing, is because of basically how strong all these weapons and armor, and how there's like go-to exotic armors and go-to heavy weapons that we always use. They're making some tweaks, making some nerfs, and a lot of people are really upset about a lot of these things, but I'm just going to go through and name some of them, starting with the weapons. The weapon changes are Whisper, Sleeper, Lord of Wolves, and Ace of Spades are the ones that they mentioned. Whisper will no longer have its regen quality, where it just regens ammo on the 3-shot. Instead, it pulls from inventory, which is just like D1.
It's just the same thing, which, let's be honest, I'm pretty sure we all called as soon as the weapon came out, because we were like, well, it was too strong before. It's going to get changed again.
Yeah. And then Sleeper, the bounce shots don't do as much damage anymore. Lord of Wolves, this one's really interesting to me because I never use Lord of Wolves, but there's like apparently a thing when you get a kill that puts it in this super fast fire rate mode or something. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, if they have the gun and use it. I have it, I just never use it. But now it's like going to be a select fire where you can hold down your reload and put it in this mode that is super fast firing, that depletes all your ammos really fast, so you knowingly do that. Which is, I think that's an interesting.
Part of me wants to be upset about the Whisper, the Black Spindle, whatever you want to call it. But dude, I like never use it. I'd rather just Wardcliff, Hunter Dodge, Wardcliff, and then pop a super or something like that, or you know, like so honestly, like, as a rational person, like, I can't even be mad about it. I understand that people don't like all this like juggling of like back and forth, and like, because a lot of people really do like that weapon, and I'm definitely one to like identify with the weapon and stuff like that. But 3 people with 18 shots, like, you're still gonna fucking melt something. So
yeah, they upped the ammo.
Yeah, it's basically you should be fine. Rarely do you go through 18 or 21 bullets in a boss phase with your Black Spindle anyway, even when you did get your ammo back. Like, yeah, it'll be
let me tell you a tale real quick. So whenever I first started running the 0 hour mission, I was trying to solo the void configuration for the ship, because I really wanted to get it done, but no one was ever on whenever I was up. And I was like, and it was kind of like a personal challenge. Let's just see how fast I can get this done. So I started doing it myself at first, and I didn't even think to use Whisper. Like, as someone who doesn't really play PvE, I don't really pull out Whisper very much. But I know it's what people use whenever they're doing boss fights and stuff. But you didn't really face a boss in this section, so it didn't really cross my mind. And then I got to the point where I was like, okay, I feel like I've done as much as I can do personally. I need to look outside for help. So I started looking up YouTube videos, and of course, everyone switching to Whisper during the tank, the spider fight, like the third room, basically. And I was like, oh, well, duh, because you can just Whisper the legs until you get your ammo back, and then Whisper the crit, and basically down it in one go. But when I had to do that to succeed and be faster, I was like, this is just boring. Like, I don't want to just sit in the back of the map. And I watched like some other videos of some people soloing and stuff. I was just sitting in the back of the map, like D1, like we did in D1, for a nightfall or whatever. You just sit at a safe distance and Whisper stuff. And so for me, as someone who isn't like a time trial person, it's just kind of boring. And I thought to myself in that moment, I was like, I kind of don't want to do, I kind of like the other ways I was doing things, even though it wasn't as good. And I feel like Bungie sees that and sees that, like, wow, there's a lot of people sitting in the back sniping these things. In this mission, it's very apparent that is happening. And so when I saw these changes, I was like, okay, like Hove said, there's that side of it. Yes, we saw this coming from the beginning, for one. And then for two, like, it just is kind of boring to sit in the back and do that. So, and to have to use that one weapon to do that, like, that's the only one that gives you the ability to regen ammo like that, where it's not a problem. So I was kind of like, and on the other side of that, let me just real quick present the other side of the argument, because I can see how from a solo like runner perspective that's speed running or does raids and does all these self challenges, how it's helpful to have these tools that kind of break the game a little bit to achieve crazy things. Like that's cool, and that's cool to be able to do that. So I can understand how people are upset in that way about it, but I also don't, like, for most of the population, it doesn't feel like a big deal. It just feels like something people feel like complaining about. I might be pushing it there, but that's just my personal take.
Does anybody else think that maybe this has to do with the up and coming like raid or something, that some of these changes, you know what I mean, to kind of like, I don't want to say level the playing field, because most people have these exotics and stuff like that, but like I feel like before every content drop we do get some sort of like either like nerfs or balance patch or whatever you want to call it. And this isn't me like making excuses, this is just me trying to be like rational and see it from their side. Like maybe this is so that like some of the new shit coming in can have a bit of a spotlight, you know what I mean, is kind of what I'm hoping. Like, I mean, I get it, like with we'll get to some of the armor and stuff like that, like I totally understand, but like to be honest, like I didn't personally see anything in this TWAB that like is changing the face of like the way the game is played. You know what I mean? Like there's still going to be really broken shit for you to absolutely destroy bosses. You know what I mean? Like in certain encounters, like obviously, you know, once the new raid comes out, people will have it on farm and they'll start destroying some of these bosses and stuff like that. But it, like I said, a part of me was like looking for reasons to get upset about this like entire thing. I was like, oh damn, like I love Orpheus rig, or oh damn, Black Spindle, really? But then I was like, you run Stompies and Wardcliff like exclusively all the time. So like,
exactly.
You know, I understand why people get attached to these things and they get attached to a certain play style, and some people, they play for the thrill of like kind of what you were saying, like Lego, like doing challenging things. They're not even necessarily challenging things. Like me and Spitfee were just having fun one night, seeing how fast we could speedrun Nightfalls. Just
or Jimmy said in chat, you know, he just said, just it makes me feel powerful. Like even though Whisper was kind of boring for me, it makes me feel powerful. And like that, I get that. Like I do like understand. Later on we'll get to one of the exotic armors I kind of have a feeling about, but I'll kind of stick on the weapons for now. But I do like understand that is probably the primary, the two arguments against these nerfs that I could see like people being sad about or mad about is they make me feel powerful, so I'm sad to see them go, because that's kind of the whole thing about Destiny is it gives you a certain feeling. And then two, for speed runs or accomplishing like really crazy challenges, to not have these options available and that you're used to. A lot of these players are like, they do these things all the time, and so they're having a huge tool set taken away from them. Ho's restrained right now, and Wilson's muted.
Still muted.
He still doesn't know he's muted.
He's still talking.
Oh God, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I have to mute because the fucking mower keeps going by, man. It's loud as shit. No, I see it from both sides, and I understand why people are upset, but ultimately, like, there's still gonna be fun ways to play the game. There's still gonna be like, maybe not necessarily on that level of like game breaking stuff, but like there's always going to be the best way to do something. You know what I mean? I understand that if you just like keep nerfing stuff that eventually like it's not going to come to that, but like they know what makes it fun. And like I said, I think they're trying to make room for like potentially some new sauce coming in with
that's something I was hoping for too.
Now on all of this, there's just one point, because I think there's so many things that people bring up that they're like, oh, we'll just do this. And it's kind of like, it's really funny. It's kind of like Mana's thing with the Pop-Tarts.
Oh, no.
Well, you just have the things and you make it happen. But, like, how do you do that? Do you know what I mean? So people are like, oh, we'll just change this so that this is how the game plays. But how? Do you know what I mean? Nobody has that answer. And the one thing I've been seeing a lot, and I feel like we've talked about this in other aspects to a point, and it makes sense on both sides, but here's my issue. So let me start at the beginning. We're in a shooter, right? I mean, this isn't class-based. It's not like a MOBA. There's no, like, you know, DPS characters, aggro characters, defense characters.
You'll get some pushback on that. Like, there are some people that are like, this is an RPG. You know, we've been through that whole argument.
Yeah.
So.
But
in general,
what you want to call it doesn't matter. My point is there's no roles. There's no different there's not like shield tanks or tanks and healers, and everyone's shooting, right? So it's a shooter. So when it comes to especially like a raid where you want this to be difficult, have some mechanic, have some kind of, you know, crazy encounters, not just waves of enemies, right? So really there's two ways you can damage like a boss. You can have some sort of like damage phase where you shoot them, right? Mm-hmm. Or you have to trigger something, some sort of mechanic. And while that's great at the beginning, there's a really fine line to walk with that, because if you make it a mechanic that's too easy, then it's not challenging for like end game activity. If you make something that's too long and drawn out, you start running into, and I don't think this was the case, but like Oryx, we loved that raid, but what was the biggest problem with
it took
Oryx?
So long. Yeah.
Because there was no way to ever get more powerful to make it take less time, right? You still had to run through all these mechanics. So if your choices are to have some kind of mechanic that does damage or a damage phase, something like Whisper is always going, something that puts out steady DPS like that is always going to be really powerful. And I've seen a lot of people say, well, you know, change the way you design things around Whisper and blah, 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 blah. But when does it become, I don't know what the word is, but how long do you continue to build your game around one weapon instead of just saying maybe the weapon's the problem? And I'm not saying, you know, it's obviously there were other things that could be used, but if you wanted to use that, it was just kind of the easy button, right? So I don't think, if it was an entire class of weapons, if it was just snipers or whatever, I can see that, but do you really want to completely have to build your game around one weapon? Like, that doesn't even, I just don't think that is feasible in the long term.
Totally. And I think a lot of that has to do with the actual encounters themselves. I think there's something to be said with like the balance of like boss DPS and mechanic encounters. I think there should be like a healthy balance of both, of like when you get to a DPS phase of a certain boss, you should be able to jump in there, like melt, maybe do some other mechanic that's not like easy to do to maybe like extend your DPS time and stuff. But like I do feel like the final boss should be like very mechanically driven and kind of broken down to where basically like you do have to kick out some DPS, but it's not so like imperative that you have to be forced to use like the best weapon, you know what I mean? Like I like how they did Riven. I think that was perfect. Like sure, you can like kick it in quicker phases than most people can if you're using optimal weapons and things like that, but I love it when they like break it down and they're like, okay, like chill, you've done enough. Maybe you have to do a different mechanic halfway through the fight, or like rinse and repeat the same mechanic that you did before. Like I kind of like it when they break it down that way. I wouldn't want like just this fucking end boss at a raid that you can just, once you get to that phase, that you could just absolutely fuck on. You know what I mean?
Right. But
and maybe Whisper was becoming that weapon, is my point. Like
right. No, I totally agree with you. But even if, and I agree that it should be mechanic driven and blah 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 blah. But to actually kill said boss, even if you have to do all kinds of mechanics, there's either going to be a point where you're going to shoot him with your guns and do a lot of damage, or you have to do something like Oryx where the mechanic itself does the damage. So if it's not completely, if it's completely mechanic based, you run into the fact that you never get more powerful as far as fighting that boss, right? The mechanic just keeps doing the same thing. If it's a DPS phase, something like that's always going to win out. Now, as far as I thought of something a little bit ago. We've talked about how we knew, you know, we said from the beginning, like, why is White Nail back the same way? You know, it was always too powerful.
Yeah.
I look at this two ways. One, and I feel like a lot of people aren't going to agree with me on this first part at least, but I don't care. We always say we want something, like we want this really powerful stuff. So if we knew it was too powerful, they knew it was too powerful, and it was going to be gone, like, So for a while they gave us something that was too powerful. Like,
yeah,
cool. Who cares?
That's awesome.
If you knew it was too powerful, why are you mad that it's gone? You can't have it both ways. But the other side of that, when did Whisper come out? Was it before the ammo reworks?
It was after, right? Wait, no. It was before.
Whisper was Warmind.
Yeah, Warmind.
So it was before Forsaken and the ammo and the economy. Okay. So
that's another reason.
Did we ever have a ton of heavy ammo back then? Were you ever going to have 15 or 18 shots in a heavy weapon? Not that often. Yeah. So if you have 4, 5, 6, that gives you what? Maybe one screw up on the white nail perk?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives you like some cushion. Yeah, like
so now that there's more heavy and you can carry, you're carrying more, you get a lot more kind of mulligans on that.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, I think that would have something to do with the change, right? Like,
I would agree.
No, I would agree, and I totally do agree. But like, there's also something to be said about the heavy ammo RNG economy in just about every PvE encounter across the board. I think it needs to, if they're gonna tone a lot of these weapons down, I think a healthy way to balance the nerfs is to maybe make it slightly more prevalent, or if the game is like, hey, it's been fucking 7 minutes and your friends have been slaying out with fucking 1K Wardcliff and you haven't even had a brick drop. Like, it should throw you a bone from time to time and like give you some heavy ammo. Like, it sucks that it's just completely RNG dependent. I don't know if anyone's looked into like how well like heavy ammo finder and special ammo finder work. I never have a problem with special ammo. If I have a problem with special ammo, it's because I'm crutching on it too hard and I need to switch to my primary for a bit. But like, power ammo is definitely an issue. That should be completely separate from... See, but then it raises the problem of like, well, then what do you do about that in like Gambit, which I know a lot of people don't even want heavy ammo in Gambit and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, in most PvE activities, some people are struggling pretty hard to find some heavy ammo, and it would suck to like have... Okay, and I'm going to say this isn't me like agreeing with them, but it would suck to have the balls clipped off your favorite weapon and then still like not be able to find heavy ammo, is my point.
Yeah. Well, no, my point is now you have more, like, compared to when the white nail perk and when Whisper first came out, you have more heavy than you used to.
You can carry more heavy and stuff like that, but you're not getting it to drop more.
Oh, you absolutely do get it more now than OG Destiny 2.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
You do, but it's still like very RNG dependent is my point. Like I said, I never have a problem with kinetic. I never have a problem with special. I'm just saying I can go through. When we did the dungeon last night, we did it twice, and we probably sat at the top of that fucking thrallway for at least 10 to 15 minutes, dropping wells, throwing grenades, and between the three of us, not a single heavy brick drop. Like that's all I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna drop
we're
these,
talking
if you're gonna
two different topics.
Not
like
not even in a sense, yes. I'm saying if you're gonna do this stuff to the weapons, maybe give us a little bit of more ammo from time to time. That's all I'm saying. Throw me a bone. But that's my
point. They did that in the opposite order of that. When it came out, you might only get 3, 4, 5 rounds. Because there was barely... Heavy was very, very, very scarce. So at that point, say you had 4 rounds. That meant you had to hit every shot to have 18 shots in a Whisper.
Yeah.
If you missed one time, unless it was on your first shot, you were fucked. You didn't get to proc that perk. So It had to be like that. Now that you can find more ammo, it doesn't matter if you think there should be more. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that is irrelevant to this topic. The fact that there is more... And if you have like, heavy ammo finder or sniper scavenger and you end up with 6, 8, 10, 12 shots, then that's why. Because when you only had 3, 4, 5, chances are most people were only going to get, 8 or 10 shots out of that? They were going to miss one somewhere. So now you're talking, if you're going to have 6, 8, 10 shots up to 18.
No, I totally think you're making a valid point, 100%. Like... And not to mention, like, there's so, like, on the topic of just, like, exotic nerfs in general and weapons, there's so many weapons, like, legendaries that, like, outshine exotics right now. Like, Recluse, the SMG. Like, you look at something like Huckleberry, amazing weapon, absolutely love it. not even close to the realm of exotic compared to something like the Recluse. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that maybe there's a pinnacle sniper coming out next month.
That would be nice.
Month, and everybody forgets about the fucking Whisper nerf because it's not that big of a deal, is my point. And like Jimmy said in chat, nerfs aside, I definitely still consider that an exotic weapon. Like 100%.
Also, Jimmy, that he brought up real quick, raid banners. There's your full ammo right there.
It is at the starts of the encounters, 100%.
Which is which was the problem with the weapon anyway. Was first encounters.
Fair enough.
No one was using them.
Let me throw down another banner in the middle of the encounter. Boom. Like, don't just have it at the beginning. Like, you know what I mean? Because there's so many times that I've gotten to the boss and I'm like, dude, I got a fucking hand cannon.
I think that I think, Wilson, that there has to be some balance to an encounter at the end of like you not having unlimited heavy. Like,
no, you shouldn't have unlimited heavy. I'm not asking for unlimited heavy. I'm not asking for unlimited supers. I'm just asking for a fucking bone to be thrown at me time to time, because it sucks to be at DPS phase on a stagger phase on fucking Riven and be like, shit, I have a hand cannon. You know what I mean? Like that's all I'm saying. Like,
I mean, sometimes that's just the bone that you're given, or the non-bone that you're given.
I always give a bone.
But it's less fun than
for sure.
a lot of other stuff that we've talked about as well.
I do think that Hove's right in that is kind of a different discussion, is like how much heavy that we do
for sure
right now.
Definitely.
But there are two other things with this conversation that I wanted to bring up. One was well, I guess there's a couple of things, but it all comes back to one thing, I think, and that is that, you know how in Crucible we have rise and falls of the meta, basically. Like, it's to freshen things up because people just see people using the same thing over and over again until it just becomes the best strat, and that's all anybody ever uses. And Bungie has always wanted to mix things up. And I feel like this is kind of a version of that in PvE. It's like, okay, everybody is using the exact same thing. It's kind of stale. Like, we have to change something. In some cases, in the past, and this is what people are kind of upset about, like, oh my gosh, here we go with the nerfs, like, instead of the buffs. But it's like, how do you buff something to the point of Whisper where you don't just one-click destroy whatever boss you're facing? You know, like, there has to be some, like, there's the power creep is just too strong at that point.
For sure.
And I think there has to be a point where and it's okay for just the way things in PvP get brought down and a new thing rises. This Whisper will get brought down some. Whisper doesn't have to be the absolute end-all best weapon. Like, something else can be great for a little while, and I think that that'll be fun for us to experiment with what that is.
It's also funny because I think people overlook this, that, like, other people have said it, but Wilson, you specifically brought up, like, I don't even use Whisper because Wardcliff still wrecks, right?
Wardcliff needs to be the best exotic weapon in the game.
But so here's the thing, like, they've actually done, and this is where I don't think, I'm not saying they're perfect, but I don't think Bungie gets enough credits with some things. Multiple people I've seen have brought up that I don't even use it because this is really good and this is really good. So it's not even the fact that, like, it's a must-use weapon. It is better, but they've made other things powerful enough to satisfy people that they don't need to use this very best thing. But that doesn't mean that this very best thing, if you do choose to use it, isn't that much better. Does that make sense?
No,
like
100%.
Like, it's not the Gjallarhorn argument where Gjallarhorn was the only thing to use. There are other things that are gonna get the job done at a level that we're okay with if you strategize around it. But it doesn't have to be Whisper.
For sure, 100%. And sometimes, dude, I just want to run something because I think it's fun. Like, I got the catalyst for Prometheus lens like a couple months back.
Oh, cool.
And that thing's so fun to shoot. Just watch it go, and then like this big it almost looks like a giant fucking like solar grenade. And sometimes it's fucking fun to like look at the burn, look at the modifiers, and then like adjust your loadout like based on that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, there's still gonna be a lot of fun stuff out there.
That's how I feel about main ingredient, or not main ingredient. What's the pinnacle for Vanguard? The
loaded question.
Loaded question.
Look
Yeah,
at
bringing
me.
that thing into PvE is so fun. Just watching everything explode.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will say, because I quickly, because that conversation didn't make me want to jump off a cliff as much as I thought it would.
Oh, good.
The thing that really, like, I see both sides of it. You know, I just like to argue. But the thing that, like, really drove me nuts is two of the things I saw immediately were, like, a comment that was something like, so, 1,000 Voices is the only usable
I saw that.
soul or heavy now, and I can't even get it. But really? Whisper's not usable now? Really? Like, it was the nerf that bad? Whether
Dude,
even
there's always overreactors,
right,
man. Like,
and
to
people
anything,
like, well,
and it's
God, thank God Borderlands is coming. Like,
people we're at the
chill.
end of we're at the end of the season, all right? Everyone, you know, is, I put it in like relation to like sexual frustration right now. Like, everyone's really looking for that next juicy content, and it's right around the corner, and once it comes out, people will be like, oh, I'm loving the new scout rifle from such and such activity. Actually, nobody likes scout rifles. I'm loving the new pulse rifle from this activity. Or I know, I'm just being toxic. And but like, we need something new to sink our teeth into. And you're right, thank God Borderlands is coming out, Hove. I agree with them, because if people like, it's I think what people need to get through their head is it is okay to be bored with a game and move on until something comes out that you want to play.
I agree
yes,
with you
go
that thank
play
God it's coming, but I think
it wasn't meant in that way.
It was meant in the, well, this game, I'm done with this game.
I'm done.
Oh, thank God. Like,
fuck this game,
Jesus
dog.
Christ.
We'll see you
but-
on Friday.
When Wilson said that, Discord took its voice and like auto-tuned it. I'm done.
Speaking of sexual frustration,
Uh-oh.
no, seriously. If you're ever out with friends, they say, have you ever seen people, like, if you're sitting around drinking with someone, if they're peeling the label off like a beer bottle, and like, they say that is a sign of sexual frustration. Seriously.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Chewing ice apparently is another one for whatever reason. I chew ice all the time, and that is not the case. Trust me.
I mean,
Okay,
you could just be thirsty.
Hope comes over all the time.
There's one weapon left that we didn't really talk about. That was the Ace of Spades change, which isn't really that big. It's like you don't get Memento Mori when you swap weapons, and it's like, okay, that
makes sense, actually. I'm
Seems
all
fair.
for that.
Seems fair.
Yeah.
Even
like,
though Ace
okay.
of Spades is like, oh, I love that gun.
It's so good, I know.
But,
it's really
but
fun.
it's still gonna, it's gonna be fun. Just don't
Still
stow
gonna
your
be good.
fucking
But
weapon,
they also make it active for 6 shots instead of 5.
Yeah, which is what it was. Which is funny. It's kind of reverted, so which is fine. The exotic armor was one thing a lot of people complained about, like not getting their supers back as fast. So it's like, yeah, it's fun to run that stuff, but like, do we really need our supers all the time?
Or just pick up the orbs you make from your fucking weapons. That also helps a lot. I get it. It's fun to tether shit and be like, holy fuck, and tether it again.
Did you
and
see
be like,
they
holy fuck,
even
and
said
do it
in
again.
there that the
Orbs,
primary
yeah.
way that they are designing the game like around for you to get your super is picking up your teammates' orbs, which maybe it's going to make people play different. You know, I don't know. I don't really even want to get into the details of that, but like that makes sense. Like teamwork. Like they want you to chain things. They want you to work together. Like it's not, and that will help with. Everyone just can't use their super as one big damage thing on the boss because you want to create orbs for each other. You want to kill mobs. You want to, you know what I mean? Like,
you know, now there will be supers that are specifically for orb creation, like Tether, or even the Sentinel with its blocking and creating more orbs, you know, that kind of stuff. So you just have to use those things rather than rely on the super. And I just wanted to throw out there that, you know, I just started using Ursa's this season, and it's already nerfed from what it used to be. And I can still get my super back like pretty dang fast, and it's been fun to use that in the Crucible for a little bit. And I've only used it for a single season, and I'm totally fine with it going because it'd be fun to just switch up my loadout and use something different. I don't have to have my super all
Lego,
the time.
it's not. I use it. I want it the way I want it. Don't change it.
And I'm tired of stuff getting nerfed in PvE and affecting my PvP. You know how many times I hit people with Orpheus Rig and get my super back in PvP? Like never.
Do you know what? Do you know what is a point though that I think is fair? we've gotten back into the whole nerfing thing, but for a long time, we were all very happy because they were buffing things.
Yeah,
and then as they tried creating more powerful things, they started with pinnacle weapons and Whisper of the Worm. And they're just a little too strong. And I mean,
it's also very possible that like when new stuff comes out, that it overlaps with old changes in a way that maybe weren't like foreseen. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like when people have reactions to any of these, whether it's good or bad, and say, well, it's 100% this, and it's all I guarantee there isn't a single change that they make that is just this reason we need to do this thing. Like, it plays into how things are affected in PvE, PvP, how they pair with other supers, guns, perks. Like, there's so much to take into account.
And
absolutely.
Also, like you said, Hove, and Wilson, there's more stuff that we may not see that is coming, or activities that we see that aren't out yet. And also on top of that, they haven't talked about new stuff that could, or any buffs that they're doing yet. Like, just because we get this list of nerfs, like, maybe it was poor design, like on Bungie's part, if there are buffs coming, but this doesn't mean that there aren't buffs coming either, because a lot of times there are small changes to other stuff that is increased that they just don't talk about right away. And they have a history too of doing this thing where they bring out all the negative news first, and then later on all the positive stuff comes out. I remember with Forsaken, they did something like that. They were like, hey, this is the way this is going to be, this sucks. And then a week later, like, introduced like a whole bunch of really awesome stuff. And so, like, it could totally overshadow these small changes. We don't have these changes yet, and so I'm not going to, cry about them until I am actually able to play them, I think.
And even if there isn't anything else coming, get over it.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
I'll use something else. Yeah.
Like I said,
please be a pinnacle sniper next season. Please.
Having an opinion on it one way or the other is totally fine, but I can't even explain to you how just disgusted and tired it makes me when those reactions and things similar are the first things I see from all over the place. Like, hey man, I really like Whisper, and this nerf seems like it sucks, but let's wait and see. Let's see what else happens. Like, that's fine. But, like, oh, God, nothing else is usable.
I agree with you, and, like, I'm not making excuses for him, but, like, there's just always going to be people that overreact, and I'm not justifying it. You know what I mean?
I know,
like,
but it doesn't mean I have to like it.
No, that's what I was saying. I wasn't justifying. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
You were talking about
what it is.
You were talking about those pinnacle weapons. Wilson, do you have every pinnacle weapon now?
I have every single pinnacle.
That's awesome.
Me too.
Yeah, all the applesauce.
That's pretty cool. I still don't have. I'm missing 2. I don't have Malfeasance, which I don't know if that counts even.
It's not a pinnacle weapon.
And then I don't have
good,
the
though.
Oxygen, the Vanguard one for.
I'll grind out strikes for you, man.
Yeah, no, he won't. He was supposed to get my Recluse like 2 months ago.
Oh, did you get a Pop-Tart? Did you get a homemade Pop-Tart?
No, I got some angel food cake with whipped cream.
Oh, that looks really good.
For our audio listeners who know that I like to munch on the podcast, this is what I'm having.
Looks good.
I'm going to mute.
I'm just going to say, I'm of the opinion that angel food cake with whipped cream would probably be a little too sweet for my taste, because angel food cake is really sweet already.
Really sweet, yeah.
This is light as hell. It's fantastic.
Listen here, Josh Brolin.
Dude, it is like, you see this, bro? This is like scooping a cloud and then just...
It actually just looks like whipped cream from our, like,
yeah, I feel like it could be so sweet.
It's the lighting. It's like we got cake here and then just like a thin
all
layer.
Just big white. It looks like a big blob of, like,
really, it looks like a cloud.
Bright semen.
There could be, like, chocolate-covered grasshoppers in there, and you wouldn't probably even be able to taste it. It's so
Have you ever had a chocolate-covered grasshopper?
That'd be fire. That'd be fire.
I haven't, but I'm trying to remember. My dad once told me this story about how he bought, like, chocolate-covered grasshoppers and told his mom it was, like, normal chocolate and, like, gave it to her as a present, watched her eat it, and then was like, oh, there were grasshoppers in that, like, once she bit into one or something. I don't know.
They're actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I like them. It's almost like a softer peanut M&M.
My parents did that to me once, but it was just that they made turkey tacos instead of beef. But I was a small child, and they knew I wouldn't eat it. But I knew something was up, because I love tacos, and they kept asking me how the tacos were, and I was like, They were fucking good. They're tacos. Why do you keep asking?
Is that the craziest thing you've ever eaten?
No, I've also had chocolate-covered grasshoppers.
I wanted.
So I'm saying, is that the craziest thing you've ever eaten?
I've had chocolate-covered ants.
Okay, that's up there. I had chicken
yeah,
hearts
that's
at a
what it was.
Rodizio, like Brazilian.
They're just like
gaucho
little like
food.
Nestle Crunch looking things. Like they're little. You just pop them. I mean, I haven't eaten
Like
them,
Bunch
a
of
lot.
Crunch.
Yeah.
Dude, if next time you go to a movie, get your popcorn and get some Bunch of Crunch at the gas station because that's way overpriced at the movie theater. But the salty and sweet of the Bunch of Crunch and the popcorn is fucking 10 out of 10. You won't be disappointed, viewers. Do it and get back to me.
Real quick, back to what we were talking about with the weapons. I just wanted to point out one thing. Atlas said in chat, as much as I agree with Hope, I'm still sad. And I just wanted to say that is not... we're advocating for sadness and for,
I don't advocate for sadness, Lego.
Well,
I'm okay
you know what I
with
mean?
it.
Like, you can be sad about the change. You can even be upset. It's just whenever you go to social media and, like, it's like tagging Bungie and being like, why are you destroying my gun?
I don't even care
and that's the kind of
who you
stuff
tag. Just be rational. Realize that it's not the end of the damn world. Like, it's fine.
Plus, we have more exotics to talk about, like Atlas reminded us in chat. I think we've covered the Whisper. Would you agree?
Yeah. We talked about the others. Sleeper, I mean, it doesn't.
What about the armor, though?
The armor is the stuff that I don't know the other ones as well. Just for me, Ursa's was the one that stuck out the most. So for hunters and warlocks, what do any of those like really?
I haven't used it recently, but I don't know about shards having their super gain cap reduced. Like, it felt like it already had been cut down quite a bit.
It's pretty good where it was.
Ursa's was kind of the same way, yeah.
Nova Bomb, the Skull of Dire Ahamkara is freaking insane. It is insane. You can throw Nova Bomb after Nova Bomb after Nova Bomb on that Reckoning Bridge. Yeah. Like, it is crazy. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. Like, it is a blast just Nova Bombing the shit out of everything. I know Marcus really likes it. Like, but maybe it should be. I agree with you, Hope. I feel like shards, the way it is before this nerf,
I didn't think it was that crazy.
Should kind of be about what that is. Like,
yeah.
I didn't really. I felt like they kind of hit the nail on the head right there with that particular.
Now, the one thing I saw,
nerf.
I don't think it was in chat. I think it was on Twitter. You know how we keep getting old exotics back and everything? I saw someone, since a lot of the things they cut. Yeah, I saw somebody saying maybe Bad Juju's coming back.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
I would be totally fine if they won't do this. But if they just, all the stuff that regens your super, all the super mods, that's another thing. People are upset that they didn't touch super mods.
I'm okay with that.
This isn't an exclusive list either. It's not like this is the only thing they're nerfing before the next season or before the season after this. This is just the things they're nerfing right now. So everyone's calling for super mod nerf. Of course, we all want that too. For Crucible, I know for PvE, maybe there's some people that don't want that. But for Crucible, I know that community is all calling for it, and they know that, and maybe that is coming as well. They just haven't talked about it yet. So that's always a possibility. But with what I was saying, like what I would be totally okay with them doing is if they just anything that gave you more super as far as exotic, weapon, armor, mods, like just take it out and replace it with something else. Like all the armor that gives you back super, like just replace it with another cool alternative perk. I would be totally fine with that. I know it's not going to happen, but
I see what you're saying, but there's
a lot of problems.
There's so many, like, another thing I think that's like fueling a lot of people's fire is that there's a lot of like very, very low and underused, some worthless exotics that could definitely be taken out of the game for room. Like Aeon Swift, the gloves, just get them out of here. Mechaneer's trick sleeves, right. Like you're not gonna go swapping up the meta anytime soon with your Mechaneer's trick sleeves or like your Aeon Swift. Like, oh, we're gonna really mix shit up at 5500. You know what I mean? And we're all gonna wear Aeon Swift. Like, there's definitely some things
that's why I stopped wearing.
That was all about those Air Force Swifts.
Remember Aeon Flux?
Yeah, Absolutely.
Do you know who played? Do you know who played Aeon Flux in the live action adaptation?
Here we go. Who is it, Hove?
I was seeing if you knew. She's a pretty big actress.
Bro, I could barely remember what day it is.
Charlize Theron. Yeah. Go ahead.
No. I think you nailed it. You nailed it. Way to bring it around, Hove. But yeah, that's basically pretty much all my thoughts on the whole exotic nerf thing.
I do want to say they did make a point at the end to say, like, we're sympathetic about the fact that the changes we make in the interest of balancing, yada, 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 can be jarring.
Yeah, that's good.
It was important that we have this conversation before the patch notes.
Mm-hmm.
We know many of you have a lot riding on day one of Season of Opulence. Hopefully this intel will assist you in building the perfect monster-killing machines for your next season of play.
Yeah.
So...
Hey, it's nice to have them acknowledge that.
Yeah, you got plenty of time to prepare, Day 1 Raiders. You got this.
As far as like overall the exotic armor stuff, I just wanted to say that I saw some people in chat talking about how Ursa's wasn't really necessary to get another nerf, and also there was another one that you were talking about, the Hunter
Shards of Galanor.
Shards, yeah. That one, those both already have nerfs. I could see for Ursa's, I've been using it a lot, and it's just so top tier that there's no reason for me ever to run anything else in PvE or PvP, because it's so good to get a few kills, then block, and get up to 80% of my super back, which is stupid. That's so good still. So if they adjust that a little bit, it'll be fine.
Also, as we end that topic a little bit, this is a good thing to bring up. Jimmy pointed out in chat, Holtzman is back at Bungie again for a 6-month contract, I think.
6 months, yeah.
So, 1, congrats to him.
Yeah.
2, we don't know details, but presumably, he worked on some of the stuff that we were really happy about.
Presumably,
so,
yeah.
It's Forsaken Endgame, yeah.
So,
I think.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So, good for him, mostly, though. I mean...
Absolutely.
It's
also
the game takes... Us playing a video game takes second place to, somebody's life and career. So.
Yeah, true.
Plus, as a content creator, it is also probably nice to, breathe a sigh of relief and be like, I got work for the next 6 months, too. So, good for him, man. That, I know that's been, a huge dream job of his. He's a good guy, so we're in good hands.
Yeah. Speaking of other members in the community, you reminded me how your kind of response to the way that changes are being made, particularly to Whisper, how it's been made, and we saw this in D1, and so kind of saw all of these changes coming in a way because things were getting so strong. And Dado made a similar tweet. He was like,
that's a good comparison. I'm a lot like that.
Really,
thank you.
He was like, I'm not really surprised. I'm a little, because they re-put in this mechanic, that was in D1 that they took out, and now it's back in. But everything else, I'm not really surprised by any of this stuff. No. And that was kind of his response. And it's yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
And that becomes in the entire design philosophy, it becomes very, very difficult, because you can tell me, oh, we'll make it this good or this whatever, but those things are very hard to do. You start introducing things like pinnacle weapons and all these things that are supposed to be strong. Those things by nature are stronger than everything, and unless you are perfect across the board with things that go together and everything, things are going to rise to the top and need to be brought back. I mean, it's gonna happen in any game ever.
What was that, Macho Man? The cream always rises to the top, brother.
I hate you.
Brother. Macho Man was the shit.
Well, I think that's all I got for this week. Do y'all have anything y'all want to add on to this conversation?
To this conversation?
Yeah. To, the cast conversation.
Before next season, we need to have another private match night. That was a lot of fun.
Dude,
now that I got my Her Benevolence 2.0.
Ooh, he's ready to get crispy.
Now what was that you just did?
Now that he's been refined in the flames of comp.
You know all about that, Hope.
What were we talking about the other day? Someone was talking about me being like, I forget who we were comparing me to, and you were like, "Oh no, he is. I have the video to prove it." It was about the.
It was a rapper or something. It was
the old 50 Cent video of me wearing your hat and a chain, and yeah.
Looked good on you.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No.
It was possibly your finest moment down there.
Wow.
Down there.
Other than
In
getting
Florida.
in Florida. Whoa, easy there, Hove. Got a little
Jeez.
got
Very
suspiciously defensive there. Take it easy.
Well, it's because Lego's already told everyone that listens to the podcast that I have genital warts.
Yeah, it's out there for the world, Hove, and this will be
But it's not true.
This will be cut and edited to however the internet
I
sees
will say,
fit.
though, that I am disappointed in every one of you that didn't ask me if I got them from Mindy.
Oh.
Well, I think that was just a given.
Yeah, I was worried about like how upset I had already made you, so I didn't want.
Lego, why? Stop worrying.
I can't.
You're like a worrying.
That's what I do
with genital warts.
Oh Jesus!
What do you think's worse, a genital wart or a worry wart?
Oh, man.
I'm gonna have to definitely go with option A.
A genital wart?
Yes.
You can get rid of those though, right? Like if you're a worry wart, you're just a worry wart.
I don't want. I'm okay with it. I am a worry wart, dude. I guess it's just paranoia. It's not the same thing. Never mind.
Kind of the same.
Never mind. I'm just getting older and thinking about things. I used to be a leap before look kind of guy. Now I look.
I think I'm getting old.
What? Why?
Am I the oldest one on the podcast? How old are you?
You're a little bit older than me. I'll be 34 in July.
Lego? Younger or older?
27. No, Mana's the youngest.
I'm 31.
You're not 31. You just turned 30, you liar.
No, 31.
You're not 31. You're a god.
My wife just turned 30.
He's in the dirty 30s, bro. All right.
What are you, 34?
I'm 35.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. I'm halfway to over the hill.
Yeah, well, you said I had genital warts, and that wasn't true. Do you believe everything you hear?
I believe we've established that it's completely true.
Atlas says anything that ends up on your genitalia is always the worst. I disagree.
See, my guy knows.
Vagina is not the worst.
Oh God.
Wow.
Could be if it gives you.
Well,
anyway.
that's fair.
We're getting too risque.
I was in a hotel. I had to stay in a hotel for my business trip, and this is like I thought maybe the first time, or the first time it happened, like whatever. I just didn't sleep good for whatever reason. But the last few times, like I don't sleep. I can't sleep good in hotels anymore.
I didn't either.
And it's one of those.
It was weird.
Everyone's like, "Oh, well, it's just because it's not your bed." But yeah, but I was like, what's that guy's name who's real fast? Usain Bolt. I was like the Usain Bolt.
Sonic.
Wow.
I was like, just became even bigger besties.
I was like the Usain Bolt of sleeping. Like I could sleep.
Dude,
I can sleep anywhere.
anywhere.
Yeah, so can I. But like I could not fall asleep in this big, soft, comfortable bed with all these giant pillows. I just like laid there for hours.
However, down in Florida, I cannot sleep through a hangover. I have to ride the headache out completely conscious for like the full 5 to 6 hours.
That's also why we bought a shit ton of those Starbucks coffees and waters, and those things were clutch. Those little Starbucks things.
Plus, I had to share a room with Marcus, and he had his shirt off, so I definitely wasn't getting any sleep. Just saying.
Big compliments to Marcus.
I had my pants off, but I didn't share my room with anybody. Well,
no, you had like the master.
Just that one day,
like a master bedroom. It was pretty dope.
Listen, I get the master bedroom every time because I'm the one who books it and pays for it.
No, I'm not hating.
No, I know.
I'm not making a hatement. I'm making a statement. All right.
Do you know why you're not making a hatement? Because it's not a fucking thing. It's a stupid word.
Well, on that note, I'm gonna go crawl.
Do you want to talk about Game of Thrones?
I thought you said you didn't want to do this, Hove.
That was Wilson.
I don't think I do. No, that was me, definitely, in Hove's defense.
Okay.
Maybe why don't we wait until the season's over? Because I mean, I know there's only one more episode left, and let's wait till two weeks after, and we will have a Game of Thrones off. Be prepared, because I'm coming with fucking like portfolios and manila folders and shit.
Well, that's just gonna make
profesh.
That's gonna make me feel even worse that you tried so hard and still got shit.
And Lego's gonna be the judge and jury, and I'm definitely bringing up your genital warts.
I don't have genital warts. Lego, do you even watch Game of Thrones?
Hope's character comes into question here.
If I did, though, I would probably fit right in the world of Game of Thrones because they definitely don't use protection.
Fair enough.
There's definitely no latex in Westeros.
Well, on that note, I think we're gonna end this episode a little early. I know Hope is like antsy, and he's so like
I feel like this is like fun time.
Well, it is, but Hove, we need to take you through 0 Hour. And,
that's not happening tonight, so we might as well just stay on.
That's happening tonight. Remember that time you kidnapped Mana Wednesday night? This is payback, bitch.
This is it.
Yeah, but he was physically like already there and couldn't do anything. There's no way in hell I will be. Nope.
It's happening. Well, this has been Lego, aka Lego Flash. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube at Lego LE Flash. We appreciate all y'all hanging out, listening to his banner. I know we didn't talk too much. Actually, we talked a lot of Destiny this week. I don't know what I'm talking
all we talked about.
I know, exactly.
I was gonna explode.
I'm so proud of you, Hove.
There's so many things I want to talk about.
Hove, where can I find you now that you can talk?
Twitter and Twitch. Hove76 Wednesday night, Thursday. What night or do we do this podcast? Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's today, live. Twitter, probably just bitching about like everything. Yeah, because I'm old. I can't sleep in beds, and I hate people and.
Kids these days, man. Am I right?
Yeah.
He won't complain about the meta, but he'll complain about everything else in life.
Yeah, because. Deal with it. It's a fucking video game. God damn it.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Ryu Wilson. You can let me know about this applesauce ordeal. Regular or cinnamon? I need to know because right now chat, from what I saw, is not on my side about this.
Listen, I'm with you, though. It's better if you add your own cinnamon, for sure. Because the fake cinnamon stuff has this like weird bitterness to it, but like... Add like a spoonful of cinnamon, mix it in your applesauce. You'll be a changed man.
We'll get back to this next week.
Just don't try to eat a spoonful of cinnamon.
Hit me up on that. We might actually have to record that. Hit me up on Twitter at Ryu Wilson. Let me know. Cinnamon applesauce, regular applesauce. Every week I should have some sort of a food question since I'm like
I tried to
always
do
eating
that,
stuff
and I got shut down
on the podcast. Or maybe we should all have like snack time and talk about our snack each show.
That's not bad.
That's not a bad idea.
I still think. Oh, by the way, I we were in the midst of a good conversation. Bot said he'll edit our pop culture podcast.
Oh, it's a possibility.
And since that is my rant most of the time, I won't be able to rant for 3 hours to make it too long. Like we could actually be like.
That is not. I don't believe that for a second. Also. As you notice, as Hove has been talking, his beautiful words coming through that amazing microphone right there, all smooth and crispy. Yes, those are the Blue microphones that we've been using and sponsored by for the past, I don't even know how many episodes we've been with them. But we want to thank those guys, Blue microphones and headphones. If you are looking for your own at bluemic.com, you can get 20% off with code RezoCast.
You can. This is true.
And they're awesome. I can't tell you how much I love it. And I love the new, the radius stand they came out with. That's so easy to move this microphone back and forth.
I think you mean the...
it's not radius. It's
the Compass 3.
Compass, that's
right. Or
the
Compass boom arm. The radius is the shock mount.
They don't have the names on them, so I can't remember.
The shock mount is the radius 3, I believe.
Right, yes.
Which is also...
It's all fire. It's all fire. All right? Life-changing.
And... You can also find more about RezoCast at RezoCast, more about Team Resolute at Team Resolute on Twitter. And you can tweet at RezoCast if you'd like for there to be a RezoCast popcast of some sort.
Cockcast?
Rezo Pop.
Pop.
Yo, real talk. Soda or pop? Go. Ho.
Oh, it's definitely pop. I almost made fun of you about that earlier.
Soda?
Lego?
But... Yeah, soda.
They finally, dude. I was about to think that I stepped into an alternate fucking universe today where cinnamon applesauce is like king shit.
Wilson,
listen,
I've agreed with you on
how many
every
cinnamon,
one of your...
apple cinnamon things have you? Everything is apple cinnamon. Cinnamon apple, apple cinnamon.
Apple Jacks are pretty good.
Apple Jacks are bomb.
They're pretty fucking good.
Tweet at us with your best apple cinnamon combinations.
There you go. That's better. I like that.
Wow, I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot you don't think about. Also, Atlas says soda because he's wrong.
No, he's right, Atlas. That is the truth. Oh, it's gonna. Good luck on your Silicon Neuroma farm.
I want to keep talking.
Well, you can come keep talking in 0 hour because that's what we're gonna do, Hove.
No, we're not. Wilson has to go
Thanks
to bed.
everyone for hanging out tonight.
Oh, fuck.
Until next time, GG.
Peace.